Hey, what's up, guys? This is Juan Pablo checking in with you, Mr. Cash Flow, Mr. Passive Income, Mr. I got what you need to succeed. Basically, at 100% Finance, we teach people how to get income-producing assets without using their own money, little to none of their own money, by financing 100% of the cost, and it puts money in your pocket. And we have a particular focus in real estate because I'm a real estate investor. But back to the subject at hand, we're actually going to talk about business credit. More specifically, can you get business credit for a new business? So some of you may have a startup or you're thinking about incorporating a business and you want to know if you can get business credit. It's a good question and I got the answer for you, along with some other tips. So let's get into this. Let's dive in. All right. So myths, first off, most people think that in order for you to get business credit or business credit cards, whatever the case may be, business line of credit, but I'm going to talk more specifically about business credit cards. They think that you have to be seasoned. You have a seasoned business, meaning that it's been in operation or incorporated for over 2 years. It helps to get business credit, but it's not a necessity. And I'm saying this out of experience. I applied for a business credit card after incorporating a business maybe 30 days ago, and I received $17,500 for my first round. So some people might say, oh, $17,000, that's nothing. But hey, it was a brand new form business. Received $17,500. Another myth is that it has to be, you have to provide a ton of documentation on your business, such as your business tax returns, their profit and loss statements, their income statements, their balance sheets, bank accounts, all that stuff, which is not necessarily true. Yes, you can go to some big banks and they may require this information to give you business credit or business lines, but there are other companies that do have products that don't require those things. Another myth is that you have to create a file with DMB or Dun & Bradstreet, get a DUNS number, which is not the case. I do have a DUNS number for 2 businesses that I've incorporated, but neither of them have that file set up. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. How they say, oh, since you have a DUNS number, let's call it to set up your file so people can see your credit history or your credit report, your pay decks, and it'll cost you about $400 or so. I told them, hey, I received business credit without ever filing. They're like, huh? How did you do that? We're about to learn today. All right, and most people have a myth, believe in a myth that for business credit, you got to be making huge buco bucks. That guacamole for your business, right? That your business got to be a multi-million-dollar company, which is not the case. Again, I received a business credit card for a newly incorporated business, which was incorporated like 30 days ago. Not 30, but 30 days before incorporating it. Before receiving the business credit. And I received $17,500. The business never made one dime in revenue. It's what you call a shelf corporation, a dummy corporation. You just use it for the sole purposes of obtaining business credit, or in this case, for using as to process business credit you receive in another entity, which is a separate video, another topic. So that's some of the myths that definitely are being busted in this video. So let's talk about it. How about these business credit cards? Well, as I stated earlier, these business credit cards don't really require full docs, like your balance sheet or your income statement, profit and loss, bank statements, things like that, or your tax returns. They are no doc, fully stated products, meaning you don't have to provide these documents to receive them. Honestly, they can care less about the profitability of your business. Shocking, right? That a bank, a credit card company, a creditor will actually give you credit in the form of a business credit card. You don't even care if you made $1. Trust me, because I've used it. In 2013, I've raised $110,000 in business credit. That easy. And you can do it too. So the stated products. So for a startup, which is a big question, how much can I get? For a startup, a newly incorporated business that's been in operation and it's been incorporated for less than 2 years, you can receive a maximum of $75,000 your first round. Round? What's a round? Well, you can apply for multiple rounds. Every 3 months, you can apply for another round of business credit cards with different credit card companies and different banks to increase your business credit. That's what I did. I own 21 credit cards. So I know a little thing or two about obtaining business credit. You keep applying for rounds every 90 days. Okay? So for your startup, you can get about $75,000. If your business is seasoned, it's been in operation and incorporated for over 2 years, you can get about $150,000 for your first round, which is pretty decent, right? For your business. And again, you go through rounds. So every 90 days, you can apply for another round of business credit, as well as for those existing cards that you have for business credit. You can always ask for increases. I personally ask for credit line increases every 6 months, and the creditor normally asks why, and I give them the same answers for business use. I'm a real estate investor. I buy and hold properties. I do rehabs. I need to pay for labor. I need to pay for materials. So I need increases in business credit. And guess what? They grant it. Because it's all based upon your personal credit. That's the catch. Your personal credit. So that basically ties into our next topic, which is the requirements. They rely heavily on your personal credit. That's the downside to giving you business credit cards without any type of documentation. Basically, you're just stating how much you make. Whether it's true or not, that's another story, but you basically state how much you intend to make with these business credit cards. This is an application you fill out, which we'll get into a little later. So it's based upon your personal credit. So this is what these creditors think, these credit card companies, they think. They say, Juan Pablo has great credit, or he looks great on his credit report, on his personal side. So that implies that he can finance his personal debt very well, which I believe will correlate into him managing his business debt. And the reverse is true too. Oh, I'm not going to use my name, but I'll say, hey, John, he has poor credit. He's not doing so well on his personal credit. So if he can't manage his personal finances, his personal debt on his credit report, how can he manage his credit or his finances for his business? So that's the reasoning behind it. So your goal for obtaining business credit for a startup, for a newly incorporated business, without any documentation, without your business creating a lot of money, without it being seasoned, is to perfect your personal credit. So that leads us again into the requirements. What you need to have is a 720 credit score. That greatly improves your chances of getting higher limits your first round, like maybe 40 or 50,000 your first round. Again, you can get up to 75. Me personally, I got 10,000. Why? Because my credit score upon applying for my first round was a 680. So yes, you can get by with a 680, but it might be a small amount. If you want to start off with a bang for your first round, you definitely want to have a 720 credit score. I refer to other clients, friends of mine, investors who want to obtain business credit cards, and most of them, they waited a year to get their credit perfect. And they started off with $40,000, $50,000 right off the bat. Me, I started off with 10. I barely got in there, but it's possible. So a 720 credit score is for one. So I'll write that 720. All right, next thing you need is for business credit, you need to have at least $5,000, at least one card with a $5,000 credit limit. So 5K credit card. Why? Because this is what business credit think. Again, they're thinking about your personal. They're saying, if this guy on this credit report, on his personal, and he has credit cards for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, he's managing a lot of debt here. Plus, his score is really good. So he's managing it darn well. Maybe that might mean that he'll do the same for his business credit. So, if he can manage over $100,000 on his personal credit and make that look pretty, maybe he'll do the same thing for his business. But if they show you having credit cards like a department store credit card and the maximum limit is $200 or $500, they might not take their chances with you. They're like, okay, this guy is not great at managing large amounts of debt, large amounts of credit, so we may not extend him any credit, or what we'll do, we'll match his credit and give him a $500 credit card. So when they do see that you have huge credit lines on your personal, let's say you have several cars with a maximum credit limit of 100,000 or 50,000, more than likely they'll start you off with those high amounts as well. That's how it works. So that's one thing you should do. Make sure if you have existing credit cards on your personal side, ask them for increases. They may ask why. Same as use business. Yes, even for your personal. I've done it and I've increased all my lines. A good credit card to have is a Home Depot credit card. And again, this is my opinion. You don't have to take it. But I use them because they easily gave me credit line increases. You can use department store credit lines like Macy's, for example, and do the same thing. Just don't use it. But it reflects good on your credit report for when you apply for business credit. All right, next thing is besides the 5,000 credit card, you need to have a 10-year credit history. That's just a requirement. You cannot have any foreclosures or bankruptcies on your credit report, and you cannot have any missing/delinquent payments within the past 24 months on your existing credit. You know, like a missed payment for your credit card within the past 2 years, for example. So that's pretty much it. So I'll repeat, no bankruptcies. I'm just gonna put no foreclosures, no delinquencies, and 10-year credit history. Yes, my writing is sloppy, but I'm doing this on the fly for you guys to give you value. So let's say you satisfy this requirement. So the big question is why? Why should a person use business credit? Should I say this in the beginning? No, because I want to express those myths first. But the reason why I use business credit was for purchasing income producing assets. I'm a firm believer that you should use your money to have fun with and use other people's money to get rich, right? Because there comes a point if you're investing in real estate or using your own funds for business, for your entrepreneurial endeavors, that there may become a point where your personal funds run dry. However, you would like to acquire additional income through purchasing more assets, but you're hindered because of your lack of savings. So that means you have to wait until you save up, which can take time. Wouldn't it be so much easier and quicker just use a business credit card and have a client or a customer or something called a tenant pay it off for you and give you money in your pocket as well? That's what I do. So I make sure that the tenant pays that off. And then I get compensated as well as cash flow, my profit. It contributes to my bottom line so that I'm not in a negative cash flow situation. Again, I'm spending some real estate terms out here because I'm a real estate investor, but it could be used for other businesses. Just make sure your customers pay that off. So that's why I think it's a great tool to use, because you're using what's called OPM, other people's money. So let's write that here, OPM, others people's money, which is great. And I used it for flips, along with hard money, which is another video. If you guys are curious about these terms, go to the website 100%finance.com. And I have a lot of great videos, and the YouTube channel explains it. Just search hard money on my videos, you'll find a video on that. I use it for hard money. I also use it for multifamily, for real estate purposes. And it's great, and it's also good for emergencies. So even if you are fully capitalized, you don't need to borrow a dime. It's still a good idea just to have a business credit card or two, just in case some unforeseeable things happen. You have an emergency account, you know, finance that, and then the minimum payment was to be subtracted from your revenue or from your cash flow, from your bottom line, but you're still making a profit. So if you're in real estate, you had a furnace breakout in the winter, you know, or a huge water leak in the apartment needs to be resolved ASAP, you have that business credit card for that, assuming you're dry in regard to your reserves, which you should always factor into your cash flow analysis reserves. All right, so that's why you should use it. It's a great thing to use to get rich. Use your money to have fun with. You know, have fun with your money so that when you invest, when you do business, when you're doing some entrepreneurial endeavor, you're not strained by using your own finances. Because there came a point with me, this is how I got introduced to business credit. I would use my savings for my day job, which I don't have. I don't work anymore. I just work on my own investments and things like that, and added value to you guys, to the viewers here on YouTube and my website. So it came to a point where I became kind of stressed out, just trying to save and sacrifice, not latte or not taking a vacation so I can save up money for a down payment for a house. And then when I came across business credit, which was introduced to me by my mortgage banker, and I just thought I applied and I received, like I mentioned before, $10,000 for my first round. And I said, man, how long would it take me to save $10,000 through working 40 hours a week at a day job? I said, man, it would take me several months to save $10,000. A lot of time, a lot of sweat involved. I said, but to get $10,000 as a business credit card, it only took me 5 minutes to fill out the application, and it took me 30 days to get it in the mail. And that's it, and that's $10,000 right there in the form of a credit card that doesn't even report on my personal credit report. So that's two other things I neglected to mention. These business credit cards do not report on your personal credit report. So the key is you want to keep your personal credit report looking pretty, so the banks can always give you the funding you need, all the lending, all the loans. However, you max the heck out these business credit cards. It doesn't show up in your personal. And another thing I wanted to mention is there is a personal guarantee. So again, these are no doc, fully stated products. Again, they don't ask for any type of documentation. They just take your word for it and check your personal credit. So that way you have personal guarantee. So it doesn't show up in your personal credit, but you do personal guarantee. However, if you do not at least make the minimum payment on these business credit cards, they will reflect on your personal credit. Okay, if you default it. So that way, when you're investing or you're doing business, you got to make sure there's no holes in your business plan, no holes in your strategies here, and that these customers, these clients, these tenants are paying off that card for you and you as well. And you should also have your own reserves just to be on the safe side. So that's why you should do it. So what's the process? As I stated earlier, when I applied, I filled out an application online. I had to get Credit Check Total, which is a website that gives you your credit reports from all 3 credit reporting bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. I did that. It showed me what inquiries I had on my report, ways to improve my credit, because it's a business credit consulting firm that I use that required that. Just to see how your personal credit is. I fill out the application and they say, okay, Juan, based upon how you stand today, if you do nothing, no changes to your personal credit, you'll qualify, and they'll give you a range between $5,000 and $20,000 in business credit. What I get, I got $10,000. So I was within that range. Or they may say, unfortunately, you do not qualify because of these specific reasons specific to your personal credit. You have way too many inquiries. You have way too many accounts and collections. You have way too many derogatories, negative marks on your personal credit report. Your debt to credit ratio, meaning how much debt you use to your maximum credit limit. Like if you had a $10,000 credit card and you have $9,000 charged, your debt to credit ratio is 90%. Your debt to credit ratio is too high. You're over on your limits, whatever the case may be. They'll tell you specifically, based upon your situation, the issues. And then they'll give you remedies to those issues. Hey, you can call this guy to remove the inquiries, or you can do it yourself. I have instructions on how to do it yourself on my website, 100%finance.com. Just go to the ebook page. It's $5. It's a report. It's like 8 steps. It's very quick and easy for you to do. You don't have to pay anybody to do it. If you're interested, just go to 100%finance.com. But it might tell you, hey, you need to remove your inquiries. Hey, you need to remove these derogatories or these items of collections. Contact this guy to do it, and have derogatory report removal as well on 100% Finance. Go to the ebook page. So it'll tell you what you need to do. Hey, your debt to credit ratio is too high on these specific accounts. Reduce the balances to this amount. So some clients, it takes them a year to do it. Or it takes some clients, hey, just a month to do it. Or you can just do it easily. It just depends on your credit situation. So they'll give you free consultation here on how to make your credit look pretty. And of course, the standards for business credit are tougher than they are for mortgage companies. And again, I'm just talking about credit here. Mortgage companies, they put other things into consideration as well, like your income, things like that, how long you've been on the job, W-2s, tax returns, all that, your down payment. But we're just talking about credit-wise. They have tougher standards. So if you qualify for business credit, you most definitely will qualify, credit-wise for mortgage companies. So they make sure they get your credit beautiful, and they give you free consultation here. It's up to you to take it and run with it, or don't take it and go about your business. But let's say you do take their suggestions, their recommendations, their consultation. You apply what they said. You go back to them, you reapply. They say, wow, that happened to 2 clients I work with. They'll say, wow, your credit greatly improved. Based upon your credit now, well, it took a year to do it, to fix it, you qualify between $20,000 and $20,000 and $35,000. You apply, 30 days later, you start getting business credit cards in the mail. And you'll get some letters as well saying that you've been disapproved for whatever reason. You forward those letters to the business credit consulting firm. They'll call you back and say, hey, call this company and tell them this. Like it happened to me in my case. Chase was one of the cards, and I had some derogatories in my account from college. So it was several years ago. And they denied me. So I called them back and they said, tell them about you're now financially responsible and how your credit will improve, which is true. There's no lies here, no fabrication here. So I called the companies back and said, hey, I know I did mistakes in the past because I paid myself through college, which is true. And I got into credit card debt and I couldn't pay it because after graduating, it took me a while to get a job and I wasn't making enough, which is true. But once I got the job, I started paying it off. I cleared up my credit. I removed some derogatories, which is true. And right now, I am financially responsible. I have these assets. I have this income from a job, blah, blah, blah. All these things were true now. And they said, and I requested that they overturn their decision, or if they can't do it, who can I speak with? What manager or supervisor can I have this conversation with? Put me on the phone with a supervisor, and they overturned the situation. They overturned the decision. And again, this is for the new business I created too, not the seasoned business. It was for the new one. They said, okay, Juan, Pablo, we'll overturn you, but we have to start you off with a small amount. We'll give you $7,500. I was like, I'll take it. Why not? It's free money, right? So basically, you apply. If you're qualified, they'll give you a quote of how much you can get, and that's it. If you don't qualify, they'll give you consultation. You take their suggestions, you apply it, you reapply again, and they tell you how much you'll get, and then you get the card 30 days in the mail. And you just keep in communication with them, let them know if companies called you, credit card companies, if they called you, they sent you letters, and they'll advise you still in the process. Free consultation. So they don't receive, of course, it's a business, it's a consulting firm for business credit, so they want some type of compensation. No, nothing is real, it's 100% free now. So, however, you don't pay them anything during this whole process because they want to get paid based upon their success rate. They want to make sure you are successful in obtaining business credit. So once you have the business credit cards in hand, that's when you owe them payment. And you can use the business credit cards or one of them to pay them. If they're interested in applying for business credit, just want to give it a shot in the dark. And again, there's no fees involved for applying, right? And even if you don't decide to use them, at least you know what you can do to improve your personal credit. So you're still getting some value out of it, even if you don't lose one dime for doing it. Go to 100percentfinance.com. This is the website, 100% with a D.com. Go to the link that says valuable resources in the title page on the top bar of the website. The first link that is on the top is about business credit. Just click on the image and fill out the application, follow the instructions, and it's Gray Rose Consulting, by the way. So click on that link. Then you're going to apply from 100% Finance. And then if you want an ebook in regard to it, email me 100percentfinance@gmail.com. It's a free ebook about the whole process of what I just spoke about, but in more detail about applying for business credit, the ins and outs, and about getting multiple rounds of business credit and how to increase your credit and things like that. And so check out the valuable resources page. There's a ton of free stuff on there, even credit repair. And on the ebook page, there's there's not free, but there's documents on there for improving your credit through either inquiry removal or removing derogatory items from your credit report. And each report is $4.99 for less than $10. you can improve your credit. And for another $5, it'll cost you just to send out some letters. So that's all it is. Easy, 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 easy. So again, this is 100%finance.com. I'm Juan Pablo. If you're interested in real estate, check out the website as well. I hope you guys receive a lot of success for applying for business credit. I'm sure you will. If you have any questions about business credit or about financing or about real estate, or if you just need some motivation or you just want to bounce some ideas off someone, shoot me an email. I'm here for you. Again, I'm Juan Pablo, 100% Finance. This is to your success. I'm out. Peace.